Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Pitch Track Chronicles. I'm Uncle Taz here with Robinho and Donald. And as we sit here on this Wednesday morning, I am still wondering if the Judge home run has landed yet. As the Yankees really put a hurting on the Royals offensively, and we saw contributions pretty much from multiple people. Dominguez had a really great night at the plate. Was able to find the Bermuda Triangle multiple times, which was shocking. You think that the Royals would realign their defense for him, but hey, that's their problem, not ours. And Wells, holy crap, Wells, another. He's starting to really put it together. Multiple games in a row at the plate and behind the dish. Another stellar call game with Fried on the bump to get us back in the win column after a loss. I think that's what Fried is here for. Reminds me of the days of CC Sabathia. Because when he got on the mound after a loss, it was sit back and just enjoy the show because you knew he was going to show up. But, I mean, what a great win overall. And Donald and I were talking a little bit. What I thought really put the game more into the Yankees' favor than anything else was the discipline at the plate and the ability to extend the inning with 2 outs. So, Rob, what did you think about the Yankees' approach overall against a Royals team that was a playoff team last year and has the potential to be one this year?
The offense has been much better the last 4 games. Even during the Boston series, they had a good performance. So it just seems like that little lull they were on for a few series has passed. Last night was great. The leadoff walk, and then Judge gets 2-0 and absolutely destroys one, and just he continues to hit home runs that you're like, wow. And you're expecting him to hit a home run. Even the announcer was expecting a home run, and they were just still like, this is unbelievable. But the approach in general was just really good. Austin Wells has really ramped it up. His OPS is 770 now, I think. So he was at 710 maybe a week or so. He's been on fire as of late. And it just seems like things are clicking more for a lot of guys that kind of need it. Bellinger's getting a few more hits. Volpe's been hitting the ball well. Dominguez is hitting the ball well. The approach in general was just really good. Getting guys on base, keeping the lineup going around and around like a merry-go-round. They just kept doing it. You put up 10 runs. I don't know how many games that is now that we've put up double digits. It's a lot, and I think we've already surpassed last year's total. So the offense is doing some great things, and last night was really good because they were going against a pitcher that had been coming into his start on a Valenzuela type of role that I think he was on, they were saying. So, hey, I love it. Keep it up because you're going to score a lot of runs doing what the Yankees were doing last night.
Yeah, just they did show it the graphic on during the game yesterday. It's 16 innings. The Yankees have had 5+ runs, which leads the major leagues. So, Donald, give us your thoughts on the approach.
Those 2 back-to-back at-bats from Austin Wells were absolutely amazing. Full counts, constantly foul the ball off, wait till you get your pitch, bang. Just excellent play discipline. And Austin Wells really was the one that blew me away with that. It was a fun game. It's actually one of the more fun games that I've seen this year. I just thought it was great, fun offense. I love the fact that we worked deep counts, got their pitch, and did damage. We made the use of the fact that it's giant ballpark, so our bloops were always finding holes. For instance, Aaron Judge. Oh my God, he was so good. But with that bloop that managed to find the hole as well, got himself a double. It wouldn't have been a double in Yankee Stadium, so it's great. Made the use of a giant ballpark. But Austin Wells really blew me away, man, with those at-bats. Just absolutely perfection. It's how you draw it up. It kind of reminded me of Juan Soto in the playoffs. It was just work deep counts, get your pitch, do damage. And he's sitting there in the 9 hole, and he's on pace to have 20 home runs and 90+ RBIs on the 9 spot. So he's doing this thing, man. They are they're all kind of doing their thing, and then you got Big G waiting. And as you say, Tats, Max Fried just continues to do his thing. He's a stopper, and you're right with the CC Sabathia comparison. The other one would be Andy Pettit. Andy Pettit was for me, a legendary stopper for the Yankees. So Max Fried kind of reminds me of that too. Just it's like a no frills, just gets the job done without no sweat. It didn't look like he was really sweating too much, that Royals lineup last night. So perfect, great game actually.
Yeah, I think it does go to Fried's ability to really study and work the opposing lineup, because I say it not to discredit what the Royals have, and they have some solid players. So it just emphasizes and puts an exclamation point on Max Fried, and his ability to just dominate a lineup day in and day out. His numbers this year, it's almost like easy mode on MLB The Show. Like, it doesn't make sense how he's been able to be this consistent, game in and game out.
Well, he's an ace. He's pitching like an absolute ace. So I don't think anyone could have told you this would be what Max Fried is. We expected good. We expected really good. We're getting like phenomenal. Unbelievably good. So you want him starting every time after. Like, you kind of wish he was starting Game 3 of the Red Sox series. You probably would have won it, right? And you selfishly, you would rather have Rodon going on Game 1 of this series. And that's how good he's been. Like, you want him taking the mound, especially after a loss, because he's probably going to get you a win. And he's just been unbelievable. He's been everything we could have asked for and more, considering the injuries we went into the season with. The fact that his ERA is in the ones still, and we're about to hit the middle of June, we're entering summer, and this is when stats, it's no longer early season numbers anymore. You're a good couple of months into the season, and he's just continuing to lead, leading the league in wins, which I know doesn't matter as much nowadays, but that's still a big feat because he's pitching well. He's earned those wins, and he's got one of the lowest ERAs in baseball still, and he's doing it against tough teams. The Royals are good. Yeah. The Royals are, I know record-wise they're not the best team in baseball right now, but they got some good hitters. And when you're able to take down a lineup like that has Bobby Witt Jr., that has Pasquantino, that has Salvi Perez, professional hitters, and one of the top hitting prospects in the game, Caglione, a lot of Italians on that team. But he's able to keep them down, and he's giving us a chance to win. We didn't need 10, right? But we got 10, and he made sure that whatever we put up on the board, whether it was 3 or 4, was going to be enough, and that's what you want out of an ace. Every time he takes the ball, he's giving you 6-7 innings, all except for one start, really, against the Dodgers. He's been brilliant, and he's been worth every single penny. And you're right, Dev. CVB needs to get some sleep, and so do you, because you're commenting at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no, very good. A quick shout out to everybody that is hanging out with us in the chat. And if you want to join our chat, it's very easy. It's very free. Just hit that sub button. Let's like this video and build up the algorithm so more Yankee fans can jump on and enjoy the shows as we do on the daily. We got bright and early. What was this? 1:41 a.m. Stephen B., what's up, Uncle Taz, Rob, Donald? Great Yankees win.
Yeah.
Great game for Wells. I mean, yeah. Hopefully he did take a nap before. We got Dev Finch also at 4 in the morning. You guys are absolutely insane.
Stevie B wins the early bird.
I think these guys have just made a competition amongst themselves.
Yeah. The early bird.
And I enjoy it. Well, we really do appreciate all the support. So Jonathan may have to realign his schedule, as he's kind of been dethroned lately.
Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu is not a prospect, not a youngin, but he's supplanting Jason as my new boy Blue. We're gonna get into LeMahieu and his resurgence in a little bit, because he's really superseded my expectations. I know you guys as well. Jonathan, good morning, Jonathan. We got CT cards. How is it going, CT? FJ hanging out with us as well. It was a great win yesterday, but the Yankees need a pitcher who can close out a game if they have a big lead. And I'm going to put a pause on that because I want to finish the shout outs and give everybody the respect of having their names called out. We also have John the Beagle Dad with us this morning. Hail, folks. Salute to y'all. Also, Anna Marie with the morning as well. Anybody else jump in? I do not want to miss anybody. We got Dev, we pointed out. And good call. Morning, guys. Nice win all around. Absolutely. As Called Italian Pizza joins us as well. I want to get to, definitely share it out on these socials. We definitely appreciate it. Back to the comment with FJ. See, this is why one of these things where they're like, oh, the tack on runs. And, when you get, when you put up a 10 spot, and you win with it. And you look at the end of that game, this is another reason why I know I debunk it, and I know Rob does as well, especially because we always hear the garbage time home runs from Stanton and some other guys. That's why you don't take your foot off the gas offensively, because you never know how a game, until that 27th out is made, the game's not over. So you want to keep putting the pressure on, and the more pressure you put on offensively, it does take the pressure off of your arms in the back end of the bullpen. Rob, what did you think? What do you think about how it does get a little dicey sometimes at the end, but when you have a cushion like that, you're not really racing for the panic button.
I mean, it happened in the 8th and the 9th. They almost put together some rallies. So I don't know if usually an 8-run lead should be safe. A 9-run lead should be safe, but it seemed like De Los Santos was trying his best to make it interesting. We don't really have. I mean, it's hard to say we got to have a guy for a mop-up role because that would mean you have a bad arm in your bullpen. Unfortunately for us, we have a few rough ones, and some guys that are decent, and some guys that are. I still think Devin Williams is really good, but yeah, this is when you have a kind of a up and down bullpen. Anything can happen on any given day. If De Los Santos could have thrown 2 perfect innings, and we would have been like, why can't you do that in a close game? And I don't know. It was scary because even if he had given up a grand slam there, we still would have been up by 4. So I wasn't like too worried about it. But it's just like, can we not make an 8-run lead a headache in the 9th inning? Like we had to bring in Tim Hill with an 8-run advantage. Like that's a little bit annoying. But Tim Hill once again came through with a bases loaded situation. So at least we know we can still go to him in those spots. It just shouldn't have come down to that. I think at some point they got to consider calling some people up from AAA because guys like De Los Santos and Hedrick and Hamilton, doesn't matter what spot they're pitching in, what the lead is, what the deficit might be, what inning it is, they just seem to make things difficult when they don't need to be difficult, and that's not a good thing to have 3 guys in your bullpen that are kind of in that same category of what are we going to get from you today? And it obviously didn't affect us too much because we still won the game by a wide margin, but it got to a point where you're like, uh-oh. Because had they scored a couple in the 8th and then you put the bases loaded in the 9th, you're like, shit, are they actually going to... Oh, yeah, they're going to have to go to Devin Williams here in a blowout. You don't want to have to do that. So, thankfully, it didn't happen, but it is a little cause for concern because it's like he's not the only one that falls into that same category. And the Yankees have to figure this out sooner than later because at some point they might be up at like 6 runs and blow it. And it wouldn't surprise me. Luckily, with 8-run cushion, you feel pretty damn safe. But if it's like a 5-run game, we've seen this team blow big leads already this year and in the past season or so. But they got to figure out this bullpen, this middle relief. We were talking about that the other day, and it was pretty obvious last night that we don't really have any long or middle relief, and that's a bit of a problem because you need it. Even in an 8-run game, you need a guy that can eat some innings and not give you a headache, and De Los Santos kind of gave you a headache there.
Donald?
I'm just going to make it clear. Our bullpen stinks. That's just like, just be absolutely honest and clear about it. Our bullpen stinks. Our closer is a 6 ERA. And he's by far our most trusted arm right now. we've got. I mean, I like Leiter, but I don't 100% trust him. I love Cruz's splitter, but I don't 100% trust him. Hill, you could make the argument, is our most trusted middle reliever. I think he probably is. De Los Santos kind of sucks. Hedricks kind of sucks. They all kind of suck. And one way or the other in our middle relief. So our bullpen sucks. It really just does. There's not really too much of a doubt about it. Thus, there's extra pressure on our starters. And a lot of pressure on our offense to continue to put in. I mean, we don't really think about the bullpen when we put up 10 runs and win 10-2, and it's not an issue. But it is an issue when we don't have Max Fried on the mound because, I mean, when we have Max Fried on the mound, these kind of outings are expected. We expect him to go 7 innings, a 1-run ball. We expect that because he's that good. It's the other ones. It's the rest of the. It's after Rodon in the rotation. It's like basically from the 5th inning onwards of a Clark Schmidt start, plus the rest of our rotation. So it's basically like 2.5 arms in a rotation you don't trust, and our bullpen we don't trust either. So that's where we're at. Our pitching is a bit of a mess. It just is. It's the first time in like Brian Cashman's latter tenure that we've had this bad a bullpen. I don't recall having a bullpen this bad. So work needs to be done on it because we're not going to win 10-2 every game. And it was needlessly a sweat having to use Tim Hill when you got the bases loaded because De Los Santos loads the bases, and who else are you going to turn to? Hedrick's awful. So there's a lot of things to be concerned about. Stroman, I mean, good Lord. I mean, hey, if you want a really bad arm in the bullpen, Stroman would be your guy. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't want Stroman starting either. I mean, I'd much prefer Yarbrough to Stroman, and Stroman's god awful. So I'm sorry, I don't really care that he's coming back. Cousins, now that is a setback. That's a ginormous setback.
That sucks.
That really sucks. And once again, that was like the bad news. Heel, we haven't heard when he's coming back. I know he was throwing a flat ground and he's like ramping it up, but he's still a while away because if he wasn't a while away, we would have heard something from Meredith Marakovich yesterday. So clearly he is still a while away. So I'm not thinking too much about Heel right now. Stroman, garbage, and the news on Cousins is bad news. So all in all, our bullpen's dreadful. I don't want to be negative because we had a great game and it was a lot of fun. But as I said, we're not going to win 10-2 every game, and the games where Max Fried and Rodon aren't starting are the ones that you sweat about. Clark Schmidt it's weird. Like Clark Schmidt can't go like a third time around the order without giving up runs, and a decent portion of them. So, I like him a lot. I'm not. It's just I know you always go back and say, "Oh, 6 innings, 3 runs, perfect, great, quality start." But the last one didn't really help us because we didn't score any runs for him. So I don't know. He's kind of like iffy right now. And then 4 and 5, it's a question mark. I liked what Yarbrough's done, but he does throw junk. And if another team times that junk, then he's in trouble. So
the Red Sox did.
Like the Red Sox did. So it's the pitching is in a bit of a mess, and it's going to need some serious work at the deadline. I don't exactly know how they're going to attack that though, because we don't really have the kind of people you want to get rid of in our minor relief. In our minor league system, because we're trying to build that up again after a lot of trades. We're trying to restock, so we don't really want to trade a lot of those guys away but we might have to dip into that. So maybe you make an Emerson Pereira available, you make those kind of guys available in order to restock our pitching. Plus, you probably want to get another infielder in the building as well. So, I mean, these are all just very real issues. And we have to hope that we continue to put up 10 runs a game.
This is why it was so important that they made these moves in the offseason and not waited until the deadline to try to fix the roster on the fly, because that, obviously you use the deadline to make improvements when you need to, but now we're in need of almost 2 or 3 arms in the bullpen, depending on what happens with some of these guys that are coming back from injury, and you still need a bat that they've been looking for since December. So if they had traded from their surplus of arms in the offseason and gotten a bat for that, maybe this wouldn't be a problem, because guys like Hamilton were expendable. I didn't say they should trade all 7 of their bullpen arms like certain people did, but I said you could maybe move a couple of them while they have some value and get something in return and just kind of clear the clutter, and you can use their spots for somebody else in the roster. But yeah, you're right about Schmidt. He's right now he's like a number 4, number 5 he needs to be a number 3. And he's not a number 3. No disrespect to him. He's going to do everything you expect him to do, which is 5 to 6 innings, 3 or less runs. He does it every single start. Even if he gives up 3 in the first, he's going to shut down the lineup the rest of the way through. Like, that's what he did in his last start. You're like, okay, well, he's not going to give up another run because he doesn't give up more than 3. And that's fine. But they need him to be a number 3 starter, and he's more like a 4 or 5. And that's because of the injury. So it's no problem with Clark Schmidt. It's just that we kind of need someone ahead of him that can be a little more reliable. In a perfect world, that would be Marcus Stroman right now, but he's been hurt. He's been bad. I don't know what we're going to get out of him. Ken brought it up in the chat, and I just saw it on Twitter. He's going to start the first game of the doubleheader for Somerset, so he'll be on his way back. Hopefully, he's just average at best, and we can use Warren out of the bullpen or Yarbrough out of the bullpen. That can strengthen it. That's a wishful thinking on my part, I know, but if he's really good, then maybe some team is desperate for pitching, will trade for him. I don't know what they're going to do, but they need to figure out something.
I just don't see how he could be really good, bro.
No, he's not.
How can he be really good? His stuff is bad.
I think the only thing I would ask from Stroman right now is don't lose us the game. Just almost like what we're saying with with a guy like Schmidt or Warren or Yarbrough. Just pitch well enough to give our offense a chance to win. I think that's the only expectation we can have for him. Like
Duran says here, and salute to Duran, watching us from Israel, by the way. No, that's like international fan, so salute to you, man. Very cool. The only thing that gives me hope with Stroman is he's literally pitching for his career once he gets back. I mean, every pitcher is pitching for their career in some way or another. That doesn't really make me think twice about the situation, because Stuff Plus has him as one of the worst starters in baseball in terms of the quality of his stuff. The quality of his stuff is awful. It's awful. It's not like he's going to unleash a 95-mile-an-hour fastball on him. It was just about locating it. He throws garbage. He kind of throws garbage like Yarbrough. And he doesn't locate that garbage. At least Yarbrough locates that garbage. So I'm sorry. This is not the Marcus Stroman of 3-4 years ago, guys.
No.
It just isn't.
No.
So that's why I do not care that he's coming back. Do not care.
Well, at least we know he won't hit 140 innings.
Yeah, right. He's basically a little bit better than Cookie Carrasco. He's better than Cookie Carrasco by a little bit.
Yeah, maybe the lower our expectations, the better he'll be. Kind of like DJ, if you want to segue into LeMahieu, because talk about no expectations, and he's been better than anyone could have thought.
Thank you, Ken, for the update on Luis Gil. So Gil threw from the bullpen man June 7th. He has thrown a handful of side sessions. Is going to go live next week. So, I mean, he's probably going to be, a month away?
I would say All-Star break the earliest.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to – well, they have to be careful, because any any rush could blow out his arm for another season, then they're going to say bringing him in is like making an acquisition at the deadline. You know exactly how it's going to go.
Yep.
Which is why I don't think they're going to
That's right
trade
out
for
of
a
his
starter.
playbook.
Right. I don't think they're trading for a starting pitcher. Could they on the low? Sure. But maybe they go for bullpen arms that could be easier to acquire from a struggling team. That might be their best bet and get a third baseman because I can't see them making a trade for a starter right now unless some team just completely falls out of it. Like if Alcantara can pick it up because he's been terrible, he would have been the perfect choice had he bounced back, but he's been really bad this year. So is he a situation where you buy low and hope that Matt Blake can fix him? But what if you trade for him, you give up a decent prospect, and he absolutely stinks up the joint? You'd be like, oh, we could have had, let's just say they traded Schlittler for him. I wouldn't want to, but let's just say they did that. And Cam Schlittler starts to pitch well in Miami, and we have Alcantara for $13 million a year with like a 4.5 ERA. So I don't think they're going to go in that route. I think they're going to add to the bullpen, and like they always do every year, no matter the situation. Even when they were supposed to be selling, they traded for Keenan Middleton. So they're going to add a bullpen arm or two, and then they'll probably go and get a third baseman or a second baseman. It should be a third baseman, but we'll see. But they're going to treat the heel return as a acquisition. They do it every single time a player is coming back from injury.
Yeah, the only way I would be like, okay, this time it would make sense is if, because like I said the other day with the extended playoffs, you don't know what the trade deadline is going to even look like, and what play is going to be available. So it might be a best case scenario to sit tight and try not to really force a blockbuster move and just rely on Hill coming back and having him 100% for half a season, and not wear out towards the end. And he might just have a lot more strength in his arm come October. And so, I mean, there's a way to spin it, in an optimistic way. And like we were trying, like we were starting to segue before, the other way, to spin it optimistically is I don't think anybody had us talking positively about DJ LeMahieu on our bingo cards this season. He has been absolutely. I'm stunned. And not many things can make me speechless on a player, but LeMay, I did not see this coming a mile away. He's been outstanding. His plate discipline's back. He's elevating the ball. His defense is right there where it should be. He definitely has turned back the clock.
He's been great. He's been great. Before we go into DJ, Ken says for postseason rotation, 4 quality starters. What we have right now is good enough. I feel the Yankees will add number 3. Well, the way I view it is if you get Luis Gil, as long as he's healthy, then we already have 4. Clark Schmidt, you'd be a 4th starter. You know he's going to give you 5 decent innings. You go Luis Gil, then you go Frieden Rodon. That's actually a very solid rotation for a playoff rotation. I'd be more focused on the bullpen and adding an infield arm. Let's get back to DJ. DJ is the key for him, man. You can see the exit velo is way up, man. It's like he's driving the ball again. Like these aren't cheapies. These aren't cheapie singles. Like in previous years, they were just really weak ground balls that were just any singles were like finding a hole, but there was no there wasn't any exit velo. He wasn't driving it. These are line drives. Even in his outs, he's lining them hard. Like he is hitting the ball very, very hard. You saw it again yesterday, man. Those were not cheap hits. He was smacking them. He was absolutely smacking the ball. So he's seen the ball great. His lower half is obviously fixed for now, and that's the key for him, man. That's the key. As long as his legs are fairly strong, he's always going to hit because he's one of the what people forget because we haven't seen it in like 3-4 years. Prime DJ LeMahieu is one of the best contact hitters of the modern era. He absolutely is. You don't win 2 batting titles in 2 different divisions, 2 different leagues without being one of the best contact hitters, man. He was like an MVP candidate for us back during the COVID years. So like he was our hero. And it's just been a couple of years where he's just not been able to hit worth a shit. But that was all because of his lower half. Looks like that's fixed for now, and he is driving the ball. And you know what? I can't say enough about this guy, man. Like it would have been much easier for him to be like, oh, these injuries are too much. I'm getting old. Maybe it's time to hang it up. No, not him, man. He's come roaring back. He went from this close to being DFA'd to now being one of our most trusted infielders. It really says a lot. So salute to DJ.
Yeah, maybe people can stop being so mad about that fake Barstool report now. The Judge and the rest of the veterans wanted to keep him around. Doran, I just want to quickly pick up on Doran. Florida are no suckers in trades. Yes, they are. But yeah, what DJ is doing right now, I would have thought you were crazy if you told me he'd have like a 700 plus OPS. Like, there's no way. DJ LeMahieu? You mean negative 700? Like, what he's doing right now is it looks like DJ from 2021 again, before the injuries really started to derail him. Because I think his average exit velo is like 90 miles an hour, which last year it was like, I think 80 or something like that. So it is a drastic improvement. You're right. He's driving the ball. He's going the other way, and he's not hitting it on the ground. He still has a couple of double plays, but that's baseball.
Well, who doesn't? Yeah.
Right. How many times did we see him come up last year, weak dribbler, and we called the double play live on the air. We're like, he's going to hit into a double play. And he did. Now you're expecting the line drive again. You're expecting him to at least hit the ball in the air. How long will this last? I don't know. This is why it's so impressive what he's doing, because he didn't have a stretch like this at all last year. He maybe had like a game or two. You're like, that's a DJ of old. And then the next 4, he just go like 0 for 12. But now he's doing it for like the last week and a half. He's just been having good at-bats. You go back to the Mets series, really. Pretty much since that Mets series, he's been, you could argue, like the Yankees' maybe 3rd or 4th best hitter. Maybe even probably top 3. So that's pretty impressive what he's been doing. He's had some clunkers for sure, but go back to that Dodger game, 4 hits. He had a good series against Cleveland. He had a great series against Boston, even though we didn't win it. And so far last night he had a couple more hits, I think, to his ledger. So that OPS is climbing.
He absolutely did. Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to him, because I would have been perfectly fine if they let him go. But right now he's been saving this offense, and he's been saving this defense too. He's been doing a pretty damn good job over there. And
because that Volpe throw was garbage, as Ken points out. Amazing. He just leapt up like Spider-Man to save the day there, because that would have been a bad error. But he did.
It's like you have to double check the number on the back. Like, was that really him?
No, that was a hell of a play. He is looking really good out there, man. And it is time to give him his flowers. He's been great. Yeah, 2 hits last night, 2 walks. He's driving the ball, going the other way. This isn't the DJ last year, 158. It's like 2023 second half. That's a good point. It just shows, man, it's just all about keeping him healthy, man. Keeping those legs healthy.
Yeah. This is why we went into last season. Sorry, but this is why we went into last season with some expectations for him, right? Because like 2023, the second half, he was really good. Like he had like an 800 something OPS. We're like, okay, there's still something there. And then that's why we were so mad last year, because he was so freaking bad. And then when they ran it back again this year, you're like, what are you seeing that gives you the idea that he's going to be that player again? He's not that player again, but he's looking a lot more like that player.
Resembling that player.
Yeah, over the last few weeks. And this is why they're running the team and we're not. So sometimes you just kind of have to take a seat back and let things play out. Now, I'm not saying this is going to last the rest of the season, because we don't know if it will. Hopefully it does. And then we can shut up. We'll be proven wrong, and I'll be happy to be wrong about it. Because there's probably like 95% of Yankee fans that have been like, get rid of this guy. And I think every single one of us that said that are going to be thrilled if he's coming up with a big hit in a playoff run. or in a stretch run to clinch the division or something like that. We'd be like, hey, good thing they didn't listen to me. I'll be more than happy to be wrong about that. So hopefully it keeps going. Enjoy it
A
because
lot of people don't like him because the modern analytics fan hate him because he's not exactly the guy that's gonna be the ideal person for the analytic. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not a huge high OPS guy these days, but he is a little bit better right now. But in general, and he's more of a contact hitter, and he's not going to hit you 25 home runs and strike out fucking 250 times, which the analytics people like. He's not that kind of guy. I think people have been overly negative even when he's at his best. Because I've seen it on Twitter when he was like batting 320 for us. You would go on X and be like, "Oh, DJ LeMahieu, he's only a singles hitter," blah, 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 as if like that's a bad thing. But I'm really glad that he's showing what he's all about. As I say, he's one of the best contact hitters of the modern era. The only thing was he's never going to forget how to hit. I was never worried that he was going to forget how to hit. I was worried about his lower half. If his legs aren't strong, which it hasn't been in previous years, he can't drive the ball. You can't hit just with your upper half because then you're just going to have the exit velo that you had last year. That's the key. So, I mean, you guys, we just have to pray that we don't see any injuries or we don't hear anything about hamstring issues or sore hip or anything like that. If we do, then we're in big trouble with that.
He's cooked again.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to last either. I was one of those.
It's great. It's great, but we have, that's the issue, man. The thing is, he's proven to us now he can hit. As long as he's healthy, he can hit. That's now official. We can lock that down. Boom. In the vault, in the bank. It's just about his lower half.
If this is the healthy DJ that we're going to get through the rest of the year, let's get him to October. Because let's also remember, that postseason against Houston, LeMahieu was one of our key guys in that lineup to keep things going around. He got it. If it wasn't for Chapman, he gets us the game-winning hit. In that game that won Houston the World Series that year. But it's also, and DJ's trying to prove everybody wrong, and he is, because I was one of those. I said, I'm like, I don't want, DJ anywhere near this team. So am I getting the series confused with DJ?
Yeah, because 2019.
That was the ALCS, right?
Yeah, but that was the year Washington beat them, I think.
Yeah, I thought Washington won that year, right? 19?
Yeah, because that's when Soto took Verlander deep.
That's right.
And Verlander was mad because he shuffled on him. Yeah, 2019, Washington beat Houston.
Yeah, you're right. My mistake again.
2022 is when DJ and Benintendi were both hurt going into the ALCS, and that hurt us offensively. And we also kind of punted the first game.
Almost forget Benintendi was with us.
Yeah, because he's fallen off a cliff since signing with Chicago. It's easy to forget.
Yes, holy shit. Let's talk a little bit about Jazz. He's looked so good since coming back. He's just. Do you know what he described himself as? And this is actually the perfect comparison. He calls himself Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights. That's exactly what he is, man. Because he just goes at 100 miles an hour. It's just nonstop. But he does need to rein it in, not just offensively with his swing. It's actually just in general, because sometimes he gets a little bit overexcited. And he's just going bang, bang, bang all the time. And he got himself kind of hurt. Sliding head first, the ball hit his helmet, which was concerning. You don't want that. And he hurt his neck sliding, I believe, because he had to be taken out the game. And then he was obviously overexcited, and he because he's got great range. He ranged all the way over to shortstop to take the ball that was heading for Anthony Volpe. and he tried a wild throw, and it was an error. Um, he just needs to kind of like just take a deep breath and like slow it down a little bit because the skill set's there, man. His skill set is ridiculous, insanely fast. He's got power. If he can sorts out his swing, which he has been of late, he can drive the ball. He's very good with off speed and with balls that move and spin because he seems to really see that really well. So those are all great. Defensively, he's got insane range and he's got a great arm. Only thing with him is he goes at 150 miles an hour all the time, and he needs to rein it in and be more disciplined. Because that throw that's now back-to-back games with wild errors from where he didn't really need to make that kind of throw, those kind of things, and also now just diving head first in steals, loving the aggression. Just needs to rein it in. I'm not criticizing him. I'm just helping him. He's going to get himself hurt.
He did get himself hurt. Didn't he say he's playing at 70% right now, which is scary because if he was playing at 100%, he probably would be on the moon somewhere. So, I think he needs to. I still think he needs to be at second. It just makes more sense. Just DJ's playing he can play a fine third base, and I think Jazz's skill set is so much better for second because he's jumping in front of Volpe. I know people have their opinions about Volpe, but the shortstop is the captain of the infield. Yeah. You don't do that to the shortstop. That's where you can cause some issues and kind of throw things out of whack. So I think he needs to be at second, and I think everything will kind of figure itself out. He's back at second base where he's comfortable. I think you'll start to see a much more all-around better Jazz because right now he's hitting the ball better, like you said. His speed is great. His energy is great. You need that kind of energy. He's having a great time. Even after the game, he was laughing it up with the reporters. He headbutted the mic by accident. He's like, keep that in. Make sure you don't get rid of that. He wants people to laugh with him. And he's a great, because the guy that people said was a cancer in the clubhouse. He's a great clubhouse presence. So I think just one simple switch back to second base and he'll be fine. I just think he's a little too energetic for third, if that makes any sense. And I think you'll get a much more just all-around better player.
Yeah, that one play yesterday, that was totally Volpe's ball. But it does speak to just Jazz plays at such a high level. Mm-hmm. I think that he reminds me of that kid that would run all the way to second base from third, in Little League, when the ball's on the ground and everybody runs towards it. Like he was that kid. That would always find the ball. But he's got to – I think that his energy level needs to stay at 100. But he also needs to dial in his focus on the play in front of him as well. And I think once he does that, I think we're going to really embrace the madness of the adrenaline that he plays with.
You know what? Aaron Boone's actually been a key part of why Jazz is the positive Jazz that we're seeing. Turns out they have a really they're tight, and I think Aaron Boone is helping them, and I just think the Jazz needed an organization that trusts them, and a manager that understands them. I don't think the Marlins understood them, so that's why I'm pretty confident that he will. But in terms of taking just a slight step back, don't forget who he is. Don't change who he is, but just be a little smarter on the base pass. Be a little bit smarter in terms of that ball's going to Volpe. Don't just jump in front of it, even though you've got the range and it's impressive. But yeah, I'd prefer him at second base for sure. There's no question about it. I'd prefer him at second base, but. It's fun to watch him. It is a lot of fun to watch him, and he's been great since coming back. He really has been. And again, he hit the ball hard yesterday. What do we know about him hurting his neck? Is it because he was taken out of the game and the ball hit him in the head and the helmet flew away? Or are we to be worried about any of that stuff or not?
My guess is he won't play today, or he'll be available off the bench. But I don't think you're looking at anything long term. I think it just might be like a half day off or a full day off.
Okay.
I think he's all right. He seemed to be perfectly fine in the presser after the game yesterday. So, but if they want to be cautious, then maybe you sit him. But yeah, he seemed all right. I don't think he'd be laughing it up with reporters about headbutting. He's like, "I'll give myself another concussion," which probably isn't the greatest sign. But
That's the
yeah,
that's what you want to hear.
I think he's okay though.
He is Ricky Bobby, man.
I think he'll be all right.
About the microphone headbutt.
Yeah, maybe you sit him tonight, but
like 100 miles an hour, just like let's go. Fucking all I know is speed. It's awesome. It's fun,
if you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, right. But yeah, just maybe hit the brakes just a little bit. You can still drive really fast. You just need to touch the brakes on occasion.
Yeah, whether it's 100 or 95, it's still fast.
Yeah.
Don't dial it all the way back. Don't get lazy on us. But
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
don't put yourself at risk either. I think that's really all we ask. Jackson's, yeah.
he is the Flash. That dude doesn't quit. He needs to learn to stop sometimes and just chill out. But we love the energy.
His knee, yeah. But we need to be teaching our guys to be sliding better, because we've now gotten a couple of guys hurt from like head first diving.
Well,
Yeah,
he was
you saw-
aware enough to say that he would slap the guy in the face or smack the shit out of him if he did it again. So I think he's all right. If he was like a little confused, he would be like, "What happened?" But he's like, "If he does it again, I'm going to slap the shit out of him." So he's also going to defend himself, which I love. I think he's okay, but like Stevie B saying, just give him a day if you need to, just to play it safe. Because you get hit in the head, just a day, and I think he'll be all right. But you seem to be perfectly fine. And again, you're not aware if you're really rattled, you're not going to be aware enough to say, "I'll slap the shit out of you," which is exactly what Jazz did. So I think he's going to be all right. But give him a day if you want to be a little cautious.
Maybe he's your brother, Rob. From another mother.
That'll be fine. I love Jazz. A boy right there.
The first thing you say is, "I'll slap the shit out of you." Reminds me of you.
That's exactly what he said. He goes, "If he does it again, I'm gonna slap the shit out of him."
It sounds like you. You guys are brothers from another mother.
And just like Rob, he means it. But we got to get to the final topic with these last couple of minutes, and let's get into the fact that Stanton had his first rehab start, and a great one at that. Is there refresh my memory? I forgot to. I meant to look this up. I had it written down somewhere. Can he get called up sooner rather than later, or is there a limit that to play a certain amount of games before they can be done with their rehab?
They can call him up today if they want. Yeah.
So
well, once he's eligible to come off the IL, which I believe he's well past his date, but as long as he's eligible to come off the IL, they can activate him. But I think what most people are saying is he's playing today again. He said he wants to play back-to-back days, and then he might be ready for the Boston series this weekend. Might, but that's still not 100% certain.
Yeah, Meredith says is unlikely,
right?
But you never know.
Yeah, but I hope it's more likely than unlikely.
Exactly.
He loves Fenway.
He does love Fenway, and I would love to have G back for Fenway. I would try and wrap that up if we can. But dude, I can't wait to see Big G back. I've missed Big G. I've missed Big G, bro. I've missed him. Anna's missed Big G. Yeah, we've all missed Big G. Big motherfucking G. G-Force. I fucking miss that guy. Can't wait to have him in the lineup. And it's actually going to come at the right time because, these things can tend to sort themselves out. Grish, although he looked much better yesterday, but he's been tailing off. And Ben Rice is completely tailed off. If you look at the stats, like over the last 3-4 weeks, his OPS has dropped down into the 600s. he has tailed off. So it's coming at the right
Goldschmidt.
time. And Goldschmidt. I mean, these guys are like getting on base, which is great. It's at least that they're getting on base, but the power isn't really there right now. Goldschmidt, he's only really hit like one home run over the last little while, and it was a cheapie in the cheap seat. And yeah, Grish, his power has kind of dissipated a little bit lately. Ben Rice, his exit velo is there, but he's kind of going through a slump. We need Big G. We need Big G, and I can't wait to have him back. And he's going to be a monster, bro. He's going to be a monster. Because there's never a question. G hits. G freaking hits. It's just health with him, man. It's just health. If he's healthy, he will hit.
What makes me optimistic about his health is the fact that right out of the gate, he's going back-to-back games. You know, he didn't play yesterday. Then they're going to give him today to see how he feels. No, he's getting right back into today's lineup. So that definitely is very reassuring for me.
3 ribbies on his comeback. That's good, man. That's good.
He just as long as those elbows are not like in severe pain to where he can't pick stuff up, which clearly he can if he's swinging the bat. So we need his bat. Anyone that says we don't need Giancarlo Stanton back is not watching the Yankees lineup. Because Goldschmidt, Rice, Grisham, they have complete, like if you look at, just to further your point, the last 7 games, Rice is hitting 167 with a 231 on base, a 292 slug.
Yep.
It's not good. And it's a little bit better over the last couple of weeks. You look at Goldschmidt, and I think Goldschmidt's been regressing far longer than the other two have. But Goldschmidt, over his last week, is hitting 115 with a 179 on base and a 231 slug. He's not hitting against righties at all. Like, his damage has come against left-handed pitching. And, like, that's it. And then Grisham, we knew it was going to happen. But, yeah, last night he had 2 hits. But Grisham, over his last 15 games, is 11 for his last 56. 196 average. But he is 318 on base. So he's getting on base slightly more than the other two. But that's exactly why we always say baseball works itself out. Because, like, well, what are you going to do when Giancarlo comes back? Well, you got 3 guys that could potentially sit now for Giancarlo's bat. You can put Rice at first and sit Goldschmidt against righties. And you can sit Rice against lefties and play Goldschmidt. You can now make a kind of a pseudo platoon. You can still give G some days off here and there, but now you don't need to play Grisham every day. You can get Bellinger and get Dominguez those at bats. These things, baseball constantly works itself out, and this probably means the end of Pablo Reyes. So
please,
welcome back, please, sooner or later, Giancarlo Stanton.
Please. And also, we're not discounting the fact that they can all get hot again.
Exactly.
So if G does kind of maybe struggle out of the gate, there's every chance that these guys pick it up again. So it does. Baseball works itself out. These are slumps. I'm not saying that none of them are like, that's it. They're all
not cooked. They're just.
I love what Goldschmidt's done. Plus his defense at first base has been incredible. We thought that Anthony Rizzo prior to last year was good at first. This guy's much better. Like, defensively, it's been amazing. He's done some great stuff. Grisham is giving you Gold Glove defense in center field. So he's been amazing. And Ben Rice, what can you say? This guy's going to be a very, very exciting player. So it's definitely not disrespect on them. But they have tailed off, and we do need a little bit of a help there. And it's funny that we're saying that because we just came off a 10-run game, where everybody
say we need off.
Everybody contributed. So I mean, it's hardly an issue, but we do need that extra bat for sure.
Yeah. Goldschmidt reminds me of the tail end of Teixeira's career. The bat was going to come and go, but the defense was there 162 games. You know, and as long as Goldschmidt doesn't lose his glove, he's going to find a way into these games, and he's going to be a key part of it because first base defense is so important, especially when, like we said last time, you know, with DJ and Jazz kind of, you know, not flip flopping their positions just yet is I think it's more Boone doesn't want to mess with DJ. Is why DJ's still at second, but that's another thing. But I think that it really does afford them a lot of flexibility with Stanton back, and that's really where it all circles back to. Stanton back up with this team just extends everybody else, and I think it's also going to kind of reignite some of the spark with some of these guys that not so much tailing off, just kind of like you said, in a little mini slump.
Just makes the team better because now guys can get some days off, get a little break. Goldschmidt's 37, 38 years old. He needs a break. He needs a little bit of, he needs a day. He's old. Give him, we can't be too harsh on him because Dorn's bringing up a great point. Had he just put up his numbers from last year, it was an improvement over what we had from Rizzo, a major improvement because Rizzo stunk. So I'm not saying because he's cooled off tremendously that they should have never have signed him and his hot streak was a fluke. No, but it's clear that he can use a break, a little bit of a day off here and there, and that would make him more fresh for the stretch run. You have G that can DH and hit bombs. You have Rice that can use a little extra playing time defensively because he might be your future at first. You need to get him some reps at first. And Grisham was never really an everyday player anyway, so he can use a couple of days off. And you have him to come off the bench. He's very clutch in those spots, as is Big G. And if you have Goldschmidt coming off the bench or Rice, you have a good bat to go to in a late game situation that's not Pablo Reyes or, no disrespect to Peraza, but I would rather have Rice or Goldschmidt or Stanton or Grisham in a big spot over Peraza. It's just these are the situations you could put yourself into now with the strength of better bench, a more strong bench, and that's what we were talking about. You get Stanton back, you get rid of Reyes. That is like adding like 4 players to your team, basically getting rid of Pablo Reyes, and your team's better. And you can now mix and match based off of matchups and things like that. Aaron Boone's going to have a good problem on his hands. You either have a good problem than a bad problem. It's not rocket science. So it just makes the team better. It'll give guys a chance to relax a little bit, get a day off. It's hot. Goldschmidt's old. He needs a little break. And so it's nothing wrong with what he's done, but he has cooled off. So let's give him a day off. And getting Stanton back will help get him some days off. And it's not like Goldschmidt's going to sit every game. No, I'm not saying that. Just a little bit here and there. Because he's hitting lefties better than righties, you can afford to think about a platoon. But I would rather Goldschmidt's glove in there more times than not. But you can get everybody at bats and keep guys healthy.
I definitely agree. I want to congratulate, and I know he's not a Yankee, but I want to congratulate Jack Caglione for his first career hit. That dude was in the draft just last year. And now he's in the big leagues at Yankee Stadium with his grandfather, who's a huge Yankee fan, watching. That is pretty cool. So I no doubt that Jack Caglione's actually deep down a Yankee fan, obviously. But I think he grew up just a couple of miles from Steinbrenner Field, in Tampa. So. He is, I think he's a Yankee fan, but certainly his grandfather is very cool for him to get his first career hit. So I was actually very, very happy for him. It was actually an ideal scenario because I was rooting for him. So we won by a mile, but I was also rooting for him personally. So I'm glad that he came through and did his thing in front of his family. So very, very cool for him.
Yeah, no, it's always something, especially when you're watching the game or even if you're at a game, when you see a player get their first hit, that first home run, it is something that you get to enjoy just as a general baseball fan. But we also had, not to throw shade at Caglione, but we also had Bellinger with his 1,000th hit last night, too.
That's true.
So I think that is something to talk about briefly before we close out on what Bellinger's been able to do for this club, and congratulations to him on his 1,000th career hit.
He's been up and down. It's a milestone. Sometimes when you're close to a milestone, you start to see players maybe press a little bit just because they want to get get it out of the way. Like, remember when Judge was chasing 62? It took him like forever to get 62, and you're like, maybe he shouldn't get it at all, and then he'll be worry about it at all. And I think now that he got 1,000 out of the way, he's been fine. You know, offensively, his numbers are fine. His defense has been superb everywhere he's played. So I think he's lived up to it. Is he Soto? No, absolutely not. But he's been fine offensively. He's got some pop. His OPS is well above average now. He had that really hot streak, and getting a career milestone like 1,000 hits out of the way. Congratulations to him. I'm glad we have Belly, because without him, our defense in the outfield would be very suspect. So he's really solidified things out there, whether it's center field, left field, or right. And Grisham's done a great job as well. And obviously Aaron Judge is a Gold Glove right fielder. So the defense has been really good. Yeah, you're right, Anna. He constantly looks like he's high, but he also looks like he's having a good time. And I'm happy for him, man, because I love the trade. We got him for nothing, and he's produced a lot. So, and he took some unnecessary heat for like the first few weeks of the season that he wasn't hitting so well. So I'm glad that he's been overall better, and hopefully now that he's got 1,000 out of the way, he can just continue to produce, be a good bat behind or in front of Aaron Judge wherever they put him, and continue to play superb outfield in whatever it's right, left, or center. He's been great. Shout out to Belly.
Donald.
Not much to add to that, man. Spot on.
Yep. All right. Well, that is going to wrap things up for us today. Hope everybody enjoyed the discussions as we enjoyed having them with you. And just remember, if you want to join the discussions in the chat with everybody, very easy. Just hit that sub button, hit that like button, share this out, your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner. This has been the Pitch Strike Chronicles. I'm Uncle Tats with Robinho and Donald, and we will see you guys Friday morning, 10 a.m., as we break down the series with the Royals and get ready for the weekend again. Rinse and repeat with the Red Sox, with this time hopefully a different outcome. But we will break down everything going on at that point. So just remember to wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.